Flex, the livest one in the section. With the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You would run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker, change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Drew Titan, Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Simian Saturday. What I think this is episode 8, is it not? Is Simian Saturday episode number 8? Yeah. We're already up to 8, and I don't do this often. ROLLY ROMERO. Let me do this roll call real quick, man. My brother One Deep, salute, man. Columbia, what's going on, girl? G McCall, Ratchet since 91. My brother I Rock, salute. Eric Jordan, Freedom's March. Jaquila Fields, Steve Elder Mac. Dante, what's going on? Rod Neal, my brother Cono Loco in the building. Salute to you, good brother. Adrian Vent, Condo, Frank from the Land. Steve L, Mr. Mont, the real OG, salute. Yeah, forgive my tone this morning. You know, life's been lifing, but you know, whatever, man, we here. Phenomenal Mexican, what's going on? GP Rocker, my brother, salute. All right, let's deal with this. You know, I do these motion memes because I'm good at it, number one. Number two, they tell a story. When I decide to do it, they tell a story. Yeah, One Deep, yeah, he split from Bomac. I just learned about that a couple of days ago. I didn't know that because I'd have asked him about that. Somebody else asked him about that at the presser, the same presser that I attended. I didn't know that because I wanted to, you know, I saw what he said. I didn't know that. I had no idea. And I saw Bomac have a response, you know, basically, you know, I think when Keyshawn made a change, Mr. Ishmael, salute, brother. Don Vaughn, salute. I guess when Keyshawn made a change, he changed everything. I don't know if he thought Bomac had something to do with, you know, what he decided to do, him and his brothers that day where, you know, he effed off his entire event. I mean, he did that. When I saw him at the presser, I dapped it up with him and I said, listen, we need you to win, young man. And I looked him straight in his, you know, look, these dudes is children. When you get up on him, he looks like any other kid in the street. I don't know if they look different on TV to y'all, but he's a respectfully, and I say this, he's a child. He's a child. I say, yo, bro, I need you to win in life, man. I need you to win in life, and don't make these people right about you. And he was like, yes, sir. Okay. So we had a little conversation, and he didn't know about asked him about Richardson Hitchens, and asked him what happened on Richardson Hitchens and about being on the undercard of January 31st. And he said, I don't be on social media, so I don't know nothing about that. I said, okay. So he told me to come walk. Well, you know, he gave me the head nod, like to come walk with him or whatever. But he was going to talk to somebody else. And, you know, I said, all right, well, you know, such is life. And I left it. To my surprise, Hitchens, and he shows up. And they start, you know, jaw-jacking at each other. And then Eddie Hearn walks up. He says, yeah, we was trying to make this fight for the undercard of the 31st. And I'm like, that's what I was talking about. So either he didn't know or somebody was lying to me. But, you know, this is the business, man. I've accepted this, you know. You got to accept getting lied to. You got to accept that you may know more about what's going on than the actual fighters and trainers and managers do. You may know more. They may not know that you're hip to their game plan, whatever BS that they're throwing at you. You're hip to it. Philip D, salute. Mark Hairston, Frank from the land. Jose, out of ROLLY, salute. So that's that. So when he changed his whole camp, which I didn't know about, he got rid of Bomac too. So is it a recipe for disaster for him moving forward? We're just gonna have to see. He is a talent, but he has to surround himself with the right people. You know, I didn't know that him and Bomac, you know, had it out. I didn't know that Bomac failed him as a trainer. I didn't know that Bomac failed him as a big brother or a father figure. I didn't know. But if he felt that he had to get rid of Bomac, then that's what it was. You know, so I don't know. I don't know anything about that. Bomac took the high road in his response, but he's also saying that he's not responsible for that behavior that he chose to exhibit on that night in question on ESPN that we saw it live. New Fat Boy, salute. Jay Grant, Tone Brown, salute. So, you know, there goes that. But back to Rolly Romero. Where in the world is Rolly Romero? I mean, you know, 1 minute he's held to a high standard. Tank sleeps him. He becomes a joke. Nobody said he was done. It's boxing. He just suffered a KO loss, which was fine. He came back. And I will say Rolly's been pretty consistent in the ring. He's had some tough fights. Then he ran into Isak Cruz. He got hurt really bad. He got stopped. Nobody said he was done. Came back, had another fight, and somehow gets the Ryan Garcia fight, and he won that. And when he won that, he won a belt. He ended up with a belt after the Rolly win. He ended up with a belt. So now, in his mind, saying in his mind and referring to Rolly Romero it's strange because he's a funny dude. He's a funny dude. Marcus Wall, salute. In his mind, he feels that he can make some decisions. You know, there was talks of a Manny Pacquiao fight. And it sounds good to him. It sounds good to any fighter. If Manny's still active, if Manny Pacquiao's still active, then everybody's going to run and try and get that payday. But things have changed. The landscape has changed. Turkey Al-Sheikh has literally changed the landscape. See, the old way of doing things was, get with the name, and if I could beat this name, I could make a bunch of money and back end money or for seat sales, and we could have the fight in Vegas or LA or New York. And right, Turkey Al-Sheikh and Riyadh season has completely changed the landscape of things. They even completely changed the way money is distributed. And that's what these people are not understanding. So I'm going to break it down for you, for those of you that don't understand. Don Bourne in that super chat, salute. He says, for the Saturday cooking. Salute to you, brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. The landscape has changed. Here's what I mean. The way in the last, I want to say maybe 13 years tops, everybody, when I came to social media, there's a lot of what I call boxing big brains on here. Everybody knows how the business works, and they got doctorates in purse splits and seat sales and, who moves the needle and, and all these guys that are really in the industry did, all they did was they played into the dysfunction online. That's what they did. They realized what they had. They say, wait a minute, I have this person here. I created this fighter. Now this fighter has a rock star-esque fan base. K-Rod, salute. They have a rock star style fan base. It's rock star style. To the point where they don't really care who this guy fights, as long as they get to see him. As long as they get to see him. So they really don't care. Going to his event is like going to a concert. So they don't care who this guy's in the ring with. They really don't care. These guys are not educated enough. I'm talking about the casuals. They're not educated enough to understand rankings. They're not educated enough to understand sanctioning bodies and everything. They don't understand that. Peter, what up? They don't understand that. Nor do they have the attention span to get to learn it. All they know is this fighter that I have created. All they know is the fighter that I have created. And that's enough for me. Seat sales translate to revenue. Seat sales translate to revenue. I'm going to get paid because I'm going to get this guy paid. And if I can move him along in this realm of boxing while avoiding the real danger. Snoop, what up? Joe, what up? Avoiding the real danger. Then I have found gold. So when we ask Anthony Joshua, why didn't you fight? Why didn't you fight Deontay? Why didn't you do that when you was one fight away from undisputed? This is why we was met with seat sales and how his body looked, as opposed to actually getting the work done. I was never concerned about the bounce of Tommy Hearn's Jerry Curl back in 1984. I wanted to know, could he beat Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, and Roberto Duran? I didn't care about any of that. This era of casuals, they care about a look. And that's what a lot of these promoters have gone with. AJ had a look, but he wasn't the best. But with a lot of business manipulations and working with the sanctioning bodies, buying off seats and reselling them and reselling the seats and letting us know that, well, not letting us know, but lying to us and saying that AJ sells out a place like Wembley faster than Michael Jackson in his prime. It was all a farce. And what ended up happening was he came across a guy that was under the radar, but stylistically was all wrong for him. And we saw the results. Plus AJ was drugged that day, but it's okay. He don't want to talk about it. I mentioned it. I'm good. So this is what boxing has become. That's what the term man fan comes from. That's where it comes from. They're fans of these fighters for all the wrong, what I deem as wrong reasons. But if you like a guy, like rooting for your favorite fighter is equivalent to being a fanatic of your favorite rapper. You like his style, you like everything from his look. What do these kids call it? Their swag. Right? You like how he speaks and does interviews. And you don't care if he's fighting his contemporaries. You just want to see him beat people up in the ring. And if you are talking to educated people and they say, look, he has a litness of people that can give him a problem, you may say your guy will win. You may say you want to see the best fight the best, but you're totally fine with him avoiding that potential problem. You're totally fine with that. You can't make me understand it. Well, I do understand it. You can't make me agree with it. You can't make that make sense to me. I am not, and I will never be on that type of time. And that's why we say it's homo-esque or just gay. That's why we say it's gay. The infatuation you have with these men. And that's the problem. The other side to this is when there's a fighter that's doing something, and they've taken a dislike to that fighter because he, and I'm talking about Diabo Dev right there on the bike, because he stands against everything that the other fighter that people idolize, he stands against everything that he's against because you're infatuated with that fighter, because you love his look, because you love his style of fight. Meanwhile, he hasn't done it against a majority of his contemporaries. And I always refer to the picture. There's at least 15 of them. There's about 17 to 18 tops. You will lose sleep. You will lose sleep and run the panels and argue in defense of that fighter. Meanwhile, the resume speaks for itself. Boxing is a what have you done for me lately sport. You're only as good as your last fight, right? If you're only as good as your last fight, right? ROLLY been knocked out by Tank, and he kept fighting, and he's won some. Then he was knocked out again, and he won some again. And then he has the nerve to come back and become a champion. And not one time did I ever read or hear anyone on the panel saying ROLLY's done. Never heard it. Proud of him beating Ryan. In fact, he was supposed to die that night. Everybody picked Ryan to knock him out. I've never said ROLLY's done and he needs to pack it up. He's a boxer. He's a fighter. This happens. Non-phenomenal Mexican. He's not welcome here no more. He's blocked. He's not welcome here no more. That's over with. Moving on, I'm not dealing with any ignorance. I'm not dealing with people like that no more. It made for a good drama. It was a bit of comic relief. I thought I had a breakthrough with the man because, you know, he was very abstract and honest about his upbringing. And just when I was about to feel sorry for him, you know, he'd rather hold heat with me than BFTB, who referred to him as a faggot 77 times yesterday on the live stream. 77. I've never spoken to that dude like how BF speaks to him. And I've become all kinds of motherfuckers. All right, dude. You're done. You can't come here no more. That shit is over. Anyway. So when I asked where in the world is Rolly Romero, I done videos on the things that he said about Devin Haney. When everybody was at 135, he was on here punk ass, bitch ass, Devin Haney and screaming and everything else. And you know my style, make the fight. That's all I'm saying. You think your guy could beat this guy? Can I see it? That's all I'm saying. And still salute. Snoop, what up? Oh, that's all I ever said. You think this guy could beat this guy? Can they fight? Can they fight? That's all I ever said. And then that's when the politics and bullshit start. Exactly, Jose. Exactly. Yeah, Snoop, that he's one of those dudes. You gotta talk to him. You gotta son him, literally. That's what the term sonning means. You gotta son him. And that's what you saw last night if you was in the chat. You got to son that dude. You got to son that dude. Because he sounds like a boy being spoken to like his father. But here's the key. I'll never talk to my son like that. You put your hand on your son's shoulder when he fucks up and says, man, son, why'd you do that? Let me explain to you what you did and why you're being reprimanded right now. And you need to get that right. But you know, some kids don't function like that. Some kids, you gotta cuss them out. You do. And that dude never had that in life. That's why he respects BF. And he sounds like a mouse on BF. BF called him a faggot 77 times yesterday. I counted. I'm like, damn. Soon as I get there and I'm like, yo, bro, what's up? Yo, you motherfucker. Now he's cussing at me, but he didn't have that energy for BF. I was like, whoa, what? What? And I wasn't on that when I first got up there. He was disrespecting me. He was acting like he wasn't hearing me and shit. I was like, what? What are you talking? Wow, bro. All right. But I let him up here and I was talking to him like a man. So I see how it is. You know, you exist in dysfunction. He came on my show and said that his fucking he came on my show just talking crazy. He revealed that he was thrown out of high school for selling drugs. He revealed that he has 5 kids and 3 baby moms. And you want to refer to something that I used to do for a fucking living, nigga? What are you talking about? You have nothing to say to me. And in fact, you could learn from me. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm tired of you know what? Let me park here for 2 seconds. Y'all have no fucking idea how much things I've diffused behind the scenes, how much peace I've made. Tay Jones, salute. How much peace I've made. How many times I tried to stay out the way of shit. And somehow, some fucking way, it always comes back to me like I did something. I say this all the time. Anybody on these platforms that got a problem with me, they don't know me, and I've never did anything to them. It's all suspect. I've literally been minding my business about my day and gotten a text. Oh, it's like that. What are you talking? What do you mean? It's like what? What happened? No, it's okay. What? What are you talking about? The bottom line is a lot of these niggas out here are fucking sensitive. And if you can't call me on the phone like a grown-ass fucking man and get clarity on a situation, then I am left to assume that you had that in your heart about me anyway, and we were never fucking friends. I don't call it taking the high road. I'm a grown-ass man, and I treat people how I want to be treated. That's how I was raised. But see, that stop right there. I was raised. And it just dawned on me, most of you niggas were not. We ain't the same. So just leave me the fuck alone. If your fucking parents failed you, then that's on you. Leave me alone. Y'all have no idea how many people I've reached out to me. And I'm talking with people, providing counsel. I'm not getting paid for that shit. I'm not a counselor. But I can be what? A friend. And I'm sensitive to everybody and every fucking thing. And I can't tell y'all niggas how many times. I'm fucking stabbed in the back. I've been stabbed in my throat. And I've saw the fucking spear and a knife coming. I'm like, is that a knife? Boom, too late. Now niggas got marathon streams about me. And I'm like, what the fuck? What did I do to this dude? Done. That's why I don't go nowhere else. I legit mean it's LDBC or nothing. I don't go anywhere else. I can't tell you what these hating ass niggas are doing. It's sent to me. And 99% of the time, I don't give it any energy. These some miserable niggas out here, man. Fuck you talking about, man? Let me get back to boxing. I'm not even gonna gripe about nothing no more. It's like it's pointless. Todd French in that super chat. He says, as usual, you're on point like Poseidon's tried it. Salute, brother. Tay says it's the harsh reality is Devin will never get to fight a PBC fighter with the belt. Just ask the guys in the suits like I have. They'll all tell. You know what, Tay? Here's the deal with that. These sanctioning bodies and these isolated companies, what they've done is systematically fuck themselves up. They never saw Turkey al-Sheikh coming. They never did. So at this current junction, thank you, Snoop. I appreciate that. And I've learned patience. I've learned patience, but I've also learned in the last month or so, trust me, there's some shit. I don't bring everything online. I don't. But there's been a lot of shit behind the scenes that it's like, you know what, bro? I'm just not doing it no more. All people do is take my kindness for weakness. That's all they do. Shout out to the real ones. But, okay, no one factored in. 88, what up? No one factored in Turkey al-Sheikh coming in with real money and doing what he did. And these sanctioning bodies and these companies, when they form a united front and put in an organized effort to thwart a fighter from actually trying to accomplish something great, there is your problem. There's the problem. Just listen to this. Fighter comes into boxing, and all that fighter wants to do is to be the best in the world. So everybody mentioned in the same sentence as him that some people hold on a pedestal, he wants to get those questions answered. By what? Fighting them. And then that's where the business takes an ugly turn. Can I ask y'all a question? How the fuck is Rolly Romero being put on this pedestal ahead of Devin Haney? How is this possible? How is this possible? How? Everything that people put on Devin, not sorry to say, is a direct reflection on the fighters that you put in front of him. Case in point, Devin's chinny, right? Rolly been knocked out how many times? Right? Devin can't punch, but everyone's ducking him. It doesn't make sense. It's like non-alcoholic beer. It doesn't make sense. It's ridiculous. Let me get this straight. Pillow fist, boring, right? But Eddie Hearn pieced it up, and he's working with Shakur, who's what? Pillow fist and boring, according to the public. He don't have a high KO ratio like Devin. Well, as high. I asked Eddie Hearn. You know what? I can show you better than I can tell you, man. I can show you better than I can tell you. Let me go to my brother Town Biz. Go subscribe to my brother Town Biz. Where's this channel? I'm tired of these sanctioning bodies. I'm tired of these sanctioning bodies. I'm tired of these promoters. I'm just tired, bro. Everybody's full of shit. So Devin's out here trying to do the Lord's work, and these motherfuckers are just they erecting, according to Brother Tay, they're erecting all of these obstacles in front of him. Teofimo back in 2018 revealed that there was an organized effort by the WBO and the WBC to freeze Devin out. There was 3 WBC lightweight champions at the same damn time. At the same time, and Mauricio was collecting sanctioning fees at the same time. The same time. And now Rolly Romero has become a champion. And he ran to try and fight Pacquiao, but Pacquiao's trying to do other things. There's only one way to gain. There's only one person gaining something in that fight. That would be Rolly. He's fighting an old Pacquiao, and he thinks it's going to be $1 billion payday for him. But here's the question. What props do you get for beating up on Pacquiao? Dude, you're supposed to. What credit did you get in that? You just get it on your resume. And I'm not even counting that. When you can fight Devin Haney for unification, to become unified. Plus, you've been calling this man's name for at least 5 years. Well, not calling him out, but you've said his name. Very disrespectful. So now it's time for the smoke. I didn't call him. He didn't call me out. His father called me out. Nigga, a call out is a call out. Answer it. You're a champion. He's a champion. Unification. Let's go. But see, getting back to what I was saying before, because I lost my train of thought. The old way of business is exactly that. It's the old way. It's the old way. A side, B side, purse splits, back end money. That is over with. That's over with. Turkey comes up to these guys. How much you want? If you're worth it, he'll work with you. If not, he'll tell you, yo, man, come down. Bet you're going to get that. Then he goes to the other opponent. How much do you want? Bet, make the fight. The PBC way of doing things is over with. It had a good run. Salute to Al Heyman. But that's over. That's why Devin Haney could come into that event, and all you clowns talk about, he's not the main event. Devin made the most money on that card. When he fought Brian Norman, he was the top paid on that card. And prior to that, the Fatal Fury, Devin was the highest paid on that card too. So it don't matter if he was an opening fight. Y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. The PBC way of doing business, that shit is over. It's over. Don't talk to me about the PBC when they allow Canelo to come in there. They roll out the red carpet literally for him. He comes through, gives y'all, 3 fights? And none of them were Benavidez. He came in, drained the swap, and left. Meanwhile, Tank Davis was there. They showed more value in Canelo Alvarez than they did in Tank Davis. I'm asking what's up with that. What's up with that? I asked why'd they do that to that kid. I asked that. But, you let the Tank fan tell it. They didn't hear me when I said that. Just like they don't hear me when I say I don't want the dude to go to jail. Just like they don't hear me when I said, man, listen, I hope he converted to Islam. I hope he's genuine. Just like they didn't hear me when I said, oh, man, he bought a block in Baltimore. That's real noble of him. I hope it's official. I hope that's from the heart. Just like they didn't hear me say, oh, man, that bitch lied on him. Tried to get him killed by those folks. They didn't hear me say any of that. They just hear me when I say, hey, man, Tank got to fight his contemporaries. Drew, you a hater. No, y'all retarded. And all these dudes sound alike. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Listen to them. Listen to them. Another dude was on BF show when I listened. I said, what is that, Mag's son? Why do they all sound like that? They all sound like that. Something ain't right. They ain't right. And I'm not going back and forth with them ever again. That shit is over with. You click my link and you sound like you got a bunch of marbles in your mouth and you talking about he from the trenches, I'm throwing you the fuck off. I don't want to talk to you. As of yesterday, I'm not in the business of doing that. It was cute for a second. I thought we had a breakthrough moment. That's over with. Out of here. Enoch, saluting that super chat. He says, salute. Hope the life stuff can get fixed with time. Everything works with time, good brother. Everything works with time. When I get off this internet, I got real life shit I'm dealing with. Y'all have no idea, but some of you, you know, y'all are dealing with life and y'all depend on us to get you through your mornings. And I appreciate y'all for allowing me to be that outlet for y'all. But just like y'all, I have a life. I have a family. And when I get off of here, I got real things that I'm dealing with. Tay, good morning. I got real life shit I'm dealing with. So this can be an outlet for y'all, and it's definitely an outlet for me. Xavier, salute, brother. What I'm no longer in the business of doing, when you come on my panel talking about, oh, you know, trenches, oh, yeah, he ain't gotta do nothing. Get out of here. If you don't know something, ask questions. That's why I say, I remember when I was a kid, when I used to have to buy magazines. There was no internet when I was a kid. I used to buy a Fresh magazine and Word Up magazine, whatever the fuck was going on. This is before Double XL, because that was the 90s or 2000s. This is before all of that. All those girls wanted were the posters of I'll Be Sure, Bobby Brown, Ralph Tresvant, Keith Sweat. I would go open up the mag. What am I going to do with those men in the posters? What am I going to do with it? I don't need that. I gave them away. And don't you dare talk about I'll Be Sure with his unibrow. These chicks be ready to throw hands with you. Don't be talking about my baby. You're a child. Even if you knew him, he'd be a pedo to deal with you. That's how I see these Tank fans. That's how I see them. Like, wait, hold on. I'm talking about boxing. What are you talking about? The trenches? So you're an ignorant nigga. Got it. His braids? So you're an ignorant nigga. Got it. He ain't got to do nothing? He's a boxer. What do you mean? All right, you're an ignorant nigga. Got it. Do y'all know that this nigga, Mag 7, said he has a poster of Tank in his house? He literally said that. I heard that. I said, wait, we ain't gonna move past that. You what? Dial it back. He says Tank gives him butterflies. He said Tank ain't gotta do nothing. And just last night, we found out that he has a poster of him in his house. Not a poster of Malcolm X. Not a poster of Dr. King. He has a poster of Tank Davis in his crib, an active fighter. Not a poster of Ali. I got 3 posters of Muhammad Ali in my crib. I got the one of him standing over Sonny Liston. I got George Foreman and Muhammad Ali, the poster for when they fought in Zaire. And I got Rumble in the Jungle. He has a poster of an active fighter. Well, I don't even know if he's active now. In his crib. And he hops on all these panels and trying to argue with you. An admitted casual hops on panels just to argue. This is a man that was thrown out of high school for selling drugs. And when he flipped last night and tried to snap at me, he started calling me a cop. Can I ask y'all a question? Whose shoes would you rather walk in? Someone who used to be a police officer or someone who was thrown out of high school for selling drugs? Who has 5 children and 3 baby mamas and not married? Who has a speech impediment that was never repaired and has a poster of Tank fucking Davis in his house? I rest my case. Boxing, please. So once again, according to what our brother Tay Jones just shared, if the PBC is erecting another obstacle so that Devin doesn't fight a PBC fighter, there's the information. There's the information. Matter of fact, I'm going to highlight what the brother said. Let me scroll back up. I hope it lets me go back up that far. I want to put a star. There it is. That's what the brother just shared with us. Tay got an ear to the ground. He knows what's going on, and this is what Tay just shared with us. So this dude is a PBC fighter. Rolly Romero is a PBC fighter, right? The PBC would let him fight Manny Pacquiao, right? They'd let that happen. And yeah. So Devin won't be he won't be unified if the fighter that has a belt is a PBC fighter. But then people get mad with us when we say, man, they're trying to freeze Devin out. Can I ask you a question? Is Rolly trying to be great? How about this? They won't let Devin pursue Rolly Romero, but if Rolly Romero told the PBC, yo, man, get me this Devin fight, man. I'm trying to unify. Would they allow that? If he was the aggressor? Probably not, because they have to protect their best interest. We have a belt now. But magically, if Devin says, you know what, F Rolly, I'm going to go the IBF route. I want that Crocker dude, that Crocker shit dude. Oh, that's a matchroom fighter. He got the IBF belt, right? That's a matchroom fighter. Now Eddie Hearn is on that type of time. Instead of saying, hey, it's a great fight or whatever, what will Eddie do? He'll start erecting all these obstacles, start talking shit. 1 minute he's working with Devin, everything's fine. Next minute, he's not working with Devin, he's cutting his ass. But you know, again, like I said, I can show you better than I can tell you. So here's what I'm gonna do. And shout out to Town Biz, because he's the one that got me this credential. And this is obviously me interviewing him. It's only about 7 minutes. Let's do it. Yeah, Pat.
He's just coming from outside. He's just done this film.
Always a pleasure, brother. Always a pleasure. How do you see this playing out, Shakur?
I think it's a tremendous fight. I mean, you know, I think the perception is that, you know, it's always the kind of the technical fight that it could be.
Mm-hmm.
I think it will be like that for a few rounds.
Mm-hmm.
But I think after that, you know, you're going to see it unwind quite quickly. With this arena, with the whole place full up, and with what's on the line,
yes.
I mean, you have to respect both guys. Like, obviously, I'm Team Shakur. But
right.
I do respect Tio, you know, and taking this fight, because I think, of course, everybody wants as much money as possible.
Yes.
But the bottom line is they are searching for greatness, and they want to take this fight because they want to be the best.
Well, working with Turkey, so I don't think money's going to be an issue.
No, but you know, obviously, when people come into the sport, they always spend more money than necessarily they should.
Yes.
But now he's in the sport, he's got to also run the business accordingly and make sure that, you know, the numbers make sense. So I think the days of just crazy paydays, you know, it's got to be commercially viable. And this is a
Sidebar, I got the camera on my chest. Eddie's tall. Eddie's like 6'5". Illis Remix salute. Eddie's like 6'5", y'all. I don't know if y'all know that, but back to it.
Fight that's commercially viable is going to do big numbers on DAZN. And, you know, I think it's going to do a great gate here in the Garden.
Okay. Give me a 2-fight plan after this one for Shakur. Granted, he wins.
To be honest, he'll fight anybody.
Okay.
You know, I think...
You heard that, right? He'll fight anybody, right? right? Now, if he beats Teofimo Lopez, how fast do you think they'll put him in the ring with ROLLY Romero? He'll just fly up there fast. How fast you think that'll happen? Now, he said he'll fight anybody, and this is something I'm going to talk about later in the week. He'll fight anybody. He mentioned Conor Ben, right? But when this dude was on the Breakfast Club a couple of days ago, when mention of Devin Haney, did y'all hear him ask for a weight clause versus Devin Haney? You see what I'm talking about with these kids? Did y'all hear that? Y'all heard that. It was on the Breakfast Club. He dead ass said that. Conor Ben, who fought at 68 and 60, no problem. Devin, he need a weight clause. Did y'all hear that? But then when we call him Debo Dev, we're exaggerating. BF had another fool with the mush mouth, and I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. He had another fool with the mush mouth. First of all, when he was talking about Tank doing anything, he kept saying we. We're on the panel like, who's we? Who's we? And by the way, let me be clear. The only reason why I was on that panel was because Bill called in and he was supposed to come back and click the link and join the panel. That's the only reason why I was on there that long. That was it. That was it. In the exchange, I put myself in a line of fire for all of that negativity. What I should have did was leave, and if Bill popped up, then go back. That's what I should have did. That's my mistake. I have to apologize to myself. But fighting Conor Ben is not a problem. And he double talked on that. Y'all remember when I interviewed Shakur? Y'all remember that? Well, I didn't ask the question. Someone else asked the question. I just had my camera up. That's what happened. I didn't say anything to him. Someone asked about Conor Ben, and he had changed his mind. And I said, okay, he's allowed to change his mind, but funny, no one's dragging him hard like that. But if Devin had did this, I already know what they would have done. But more on that during the week. More on that during the week. It's okay. Right? It's okay. Conor Ben, I ain't heard nothing about no weight restrictions recently. But he dead ass said, Devin Haney, yeah, I need a weight restriction. And we had another fool on BFTB's panel talking about what we need. We can't fight Devin. He literally said, we need smaller gloves. We need a smaller ring. We need a hydration clause. I said, why does Tank need all of that? Because here's what I heard. I heard Tank beats up light heavyweights in camp. That's what I heard. Is Devin too big? Yes. So who wins in the fight? Tank.
What?
The most retarded fan base in the history. They eclipse Pac-Tards. They eclipse the AJ fanatics. They eclipse the female Sugar Ray Leonard fans from the 80s. Y'all don't even know about them. Those ladies didn't know boxing. They knew his perfect white teeth and the bolo punch. That's what they knew. That's what they knew. Tank fans eclipse that. But I want you to pay attention to what Eddie Hearn is saying. He said Shakur fight anybody. I think he did the Breakfast Club interview before he came here. So he must not have heard what he had said. I didn't hear it until I went home. I said, man, that would have been nice if I heard that. He'll fight anybody with weight restrictions or what's going on, because he said he'd fight Devin with he'd only fight Devin with a rehydration clause. Do you know about that? You see, these fighters put their promoters in a position, and the promoters say shit and put them in weird positions. But when no one's on the same type of time, when they're not communicating, you have a mess.
You know, he likes the Conor Ben fight. That's a move up to 147.
That's the move up to 147.
This is a fight for him to become a 4-division world champion.
He ain't say Devin, right? You noticed that, right? Mansa Musa, salute. You noticed that, right? He did not say Devin. I had to say Devin. You'll see it. He likes the Conor Ben fight. What did I tell you about this guy in Conor Ben? Conor Ben is his guy. That's his countryman. Yeah, Mansa Musa, it was crazy. It was crazy. Yo, listen, man. What did I tell you about this guy? Just let these dudes talk. Just let them talk. Just let them talk. Let them talk. You'll get everything you. My purpose is not to go in there and start barking and spazzing, whatever. Let them talk. The jokes literally write themselves. That's part of the reason why I put Mag up here, because the jokes write themselves. He was in rare form on BF's TV shit last night. He think he cooking shit, but he's cooking himself because he's fucking retarded. The jokes write themselves. Let him talk. Now he talking about Conor Ben at 47. No mention of, I was waiting. Conor Ben is his countryman. How many times I told y'all, Boots is getting lined up. You know how I know Boots is getting lined up? Because when I thought it, about a week later, I thought it and I said it on my airwaves, but no one listens to my dumb ass. He was at an interview and he said, no, we're not about to make the, there won't be no Boots versus Conor. Bullshit, that means there's going to be Boots versus Conor when the time is right. Shakur, you over here dealing with Eddie? Exactly, Tay. He's always running himself into shit. You know, Tay. You know. You've been dealing with this how long? If he puts Conor Ben in the ring with Shakur, I bet you that fight won't even be in the goddamn United States. You know why? Big Joe Townsend, salute. Mr. Big Play, what up? You know why? Oh, Mr. Big Play, you know what? I plan on doing that, but it's not gonna be on YouTube. It's gonna be on my it's gonna be on Rumble for me. I'm not gonna do it here. I'm not gonna do it here because what I have to say, YouTube won't like it. This dude, Eddie Hearn, has a track record of bullshitting. Literally. He's one of the kings of double talk. Remember with Deontay and remember when Blue Blood asked him about the offer? He said, let's see a contract, let's see proof of funds, and we'll take it from there. Literally about a week later, Blue Blood, and I know we all look alike, but Blue Blood asked him the same question because after Blue Blood asked him, he went on another outlet and said something different. So then when Blue saw him again, he said, can you clear up the confusion? You asked to see a contract. And he said, I never asked to see a contract. I never asked to see proof of funds. And I said, wait a minute. And I merged the videos. Y'all remember that? I still have it. There's just music on that I can't play no more because magically YouTube is, magically what used to be good is not good anymore. So I got to redo the video. I got to remove the music. He lied. Tay's in the chat. He'll tell you. He asked to see a contract. He asked to see proof of funds. And then about a week and some change later, he told Blue that he never asked for that. And it's on YouTube. And I merged the videos. I said, yo, hold on. You absolutely. Now, Blue knew that. But see, this is where becoming a professional journalist comes in at. What Blue could have done was drag him right there. Like, no, bro, you told me last week. You told me, like, do you remember? You see this hat? It says Blue Blood. You told me, let's see a contract, let's see proof of funds. You went and told someone else that that's what you needed. And now you're telling me that you never said that? I have it on video. I have it on video. And you want to know how long ago this was? The technology of AI wasn't in regular people's hands at that time. This is about 6 years ago now. No, this was before the pandemic, y'all. So you don't burn bridges because then you don't get credentials. You don't get credentials. You can't talk to these guys to get the answers. Now, I'm not going to go there in front of him and wild out. I could, but I'm not. Because how are y'all going to get the answers? I asked questions and let him talk, and already he lying. Shakur fight anybody. He didn't mention Devin. Because you know why? Earlier that day, he told the Breakfast Club, Devin at a catch weight. Devin at a catch weight, but Conor Ben, that's never mentioned. Shakur, be careful, because the old way of thinking is, oh, it'll do bigger numbers in the UK. And Shakur fans, y'all go ahead and buy into that old way if you want to. Fucking with Turkey, your check is your check. Sure, they celebrate Conor Ben over in the UK. But let me tell you something. Shakur, you're the better man. You're not a drug cheat. You're an American with a fan base. Conor Ben is popular because of his daddy. He never held a world title. And he's a drug cheat. You already fought a drug cheat. You don't have to bend the knee. And don't let Eddie Sweet talk you, bruh. Because I noticed another thing about Shakur. Shout out to him for getting his teeth fixed. But he's walking around with a chip on his shoulder. And it's not a correct chip. He's not saying, I'm just going to do the work. He's out here responding to shit. And all I see is your lack thereof work. Your lack thereof. Because there was a lot of things he could have done, but he didn't do. But I'm not here dragging Shakur. I'm going to review him this week too. As it pertains to the Tiafimo shit. He's no saint. He's no saint. Clarence, salute, brother. But let's get back to this. I'm going to bring it back a little bit so you can hear it.
Like for him to become a 4-division world champion.
4-division world champion.
Wow.
So, you know, after that, he moved to 47 to become a 5-division world champion. I mean, there's very few fighters in the world that have achieved that. I set them up
Wow.
there. Okay. Some of them, Roy Jones, Marquez, Leonard, Hearns, Whittaker. But that's as good as Shakur is.
Mm-hmm. Right. Now here come the hardball questions. Do you still think Devin Haney's boring?
It's not that I think he's boring. I just said that performance, for me, wasn't great to watch.
What performance you think he's talking about? What performance you think he's talking about? From what he just said, just put the name in the chat. What performance do you think he's talking about? He just said boring. He said that performance to me was boring. What performance though? What performance? Let me help y'all out. Do you think he's talking about Ramirez or Brian Norman? Boring, right? Which performance do you think he's talking about? Before I hit play on this. Now we talking about Devin. True Boxing Night says Ramirez. Mr. Big Play says Norman. Ratchet says Ramirez. I'm standing in front of him and I'm like, He got to be talking about Ramirez, right? He got to be talking, because everybody said that. I'm like, go to hell. That was Ramirez's fault. He can't cut off a ring. I'm like, he got to be talking about Ramirez. He can't be talking about Brother Bezo and Dev, right? He can't be talking about that, right? Listen.
Now, when I used to, people say, oh, when you used to promote him, you used to say this. Obviously, if I'm promoting a guy, you have to justify a performance a little bit more. But by the way,
you heard what he just said? If you're promoting a guy, you got to justify the performance a little bit more. Sort of like he spent years dragging the brother Deontay. Corner girl, salute. Jeff Spark, always supporting, salute. You spent years dragging Deontay and keeping AJ away from him. But the second that 6-on-6 came, you liked the bouncer, didn't you? Bro, these demons will lie straight to your face, bro. Just let him talk. Let him talk.
If you go back to those performances, they were very different to the Ramirez fight and the Brian Norman fight. Watch the Jojo Diaz fight. Watch the Abdullayev fight. Watch the Moran fight. Watch the even the Linares fight. Even the Regis Prograis fight. Do you know what I mean? He's not.
What was different between the Brian Norman fight and the Regis Prograis fight? I'm going to tell you what the difference was. The difference was the element of danger. At no point did I felt that Regis Prograis would catch Devin at any point in that fight. In the Brian Norman fight, even when Brian got up off the floor, y'all have to understand, when you don't knock a man out and he gets his bearings about him, the element of danger increases every round. I watched that fight. There was not a moment that I didn't think that Brian could catch him and hurt him. That element of danger was there the whole night. For me, it was. I said, he can get him. Brian's up. Uh-oh. Y'all didn't notice that he took away the jab? It was like, why Devin stop drawing the jab? Because Brian took it away for a while. There was little things. See, y'all really don't know what I'm not talking about y'all in particular. Some people don't know what they're looking at. He wasn't throwing the jab because Brian adjusted. Brian was in the fight. He didn't win it, but he was in the fight. At all times, there was an element of danger there. That's the difference. That's the difference. And I got a video coming up for you bastards that abandoned that kid, man. More on that during the week. Assholes. Anyway. Now what he's doing, he's systematically tearing down Devin's performances. Mind you, all of the fights he named, Devin won. Now, one time did he say that his opponents didn't make the proper adjustments to become successful. When they did adjust, Devin adjusted with him. So Devin winning is his fault. So he's being punished for winning. Here's the track record. 2018, Teofimo in cahoots with the WBC and the WBO. They agreed to freeze him out. Fast forward, Lomachenko supposed to fight Devin. Franchise status. He fights Teofimo, loses the belt. Then the rules change in real time. They give Teofimo the title, the franchise title. And I said, wait, I don't think, you're paying sanctioning fees on this new concept, and it wasn't supposed to be transferable. Now it's transferable. And then Mauricio went on to say that he's the real undisputed champion. Bullshit. But I said, never mind that. Now Teo, all he has to do is fight Devin. Instead, he says, I'm undisputed. I do what I want. Where's my soundbite? Where the fuck is it? Oh.
Whatever, I do what I want.
George Kambosos put that fight off 3 times because they got J-Lo. He fights George, lays an egg. George is now unified. Then he ends up with the franchise status. Question: did George Kambosos pay sanctioning fees on the franchise status, or did he request it? Did he win it, or did he request it? Because Mauricio said that he requested it, which is what, and they voted on it, and they said yes, that's why he got it. So when George left the ring after beating Teofimo, when he left the ring, did he request it, or was it just given to him? Because after that, he fought Devin. Devin took less money, gave up home court advantage, went over there, won it, and defended it, and that was the last you saw of it. Now all of a sudden they want to get rid of the franchise status. So Devin was the real WBC champion. What was he going to do? Pay 2 sanctioning fees? So by way of the old rules, George Kambosos technically, if Devin didn't petition for it, that means George, even though he lost to Devin, he is the last franchise champion. Because I know for a fact Devin ain't pay no fees and he didn't request it. I'll ask Bill myself just to make sure. But all of this happened right in front of everyone's face and no one talks about that. So when we say the fix is in for Dev, and the brother Tay Jones just revealed that the PBC is not letting any of their champions fight Devin Haney. There you go. Does it make sense why we call him Debo Dev now? I've never seen this many obstacles erected in front of a fighter since Deontay Wilder. You see? You see? This is what I'm talking about, man. This is what I'm talking about. Unreal. Exactly, Steve. George never called himself undisputed. He talked a lot of shit, but he didn't do that. And all I saw was the work. Devin defended himself. Well, not really. Devin was training. Bill was doing the talking. And Devin defended himself in the ring. So when we talk about things like this new era of Black Murderers Row, you got motherfuckers that spin the block on us. Oh, man, y'all still talking about race. Well, explain this shit, man. Now ROLLY's being protected from Devin, and now ROLLY's quiet. He's not actively pursuing Devin. He was real loud at 35. And Devin has a belt. You don't want to become unified, or you want to fight? You want to beat up on old-ass Pacquiao, right? Let's say you beat up on old-ass Pacquiao. Now what? You're still a champion. Now what? You not going to unify with Devin? What is the PBC going to do? Work with Matchroom to get a Crocker unification? You know what'll happen? Crocker fuck around and beat ROLLY. Now he got 2 belts. And then that's more incentive for Eddie Hearn to keep Devin away from him. Exactly, Tay. They can't make no money off of Devin. So they can freeze him. They can't freeze him out, because they can't freeze out means financially. They can't do that. But they can fold their arms and poke their goddamn lip out and keep that kid out of opportunity to strengthen his resume. You see, y'all, that's why when Devin put out that list, and when he got to Brian Norman, and Brian Norman said, I'm your Huckleberry, that's why I respect that young man. Because think about the people that said no. Shakur said no. Boots said no. Tank said no. Teofimo said no. $11 million. That's the number we got. He said no. Brian said, run it. I said, oh, here we go. And then what did the public do? Oh, Turkey made him take the fight. No, 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 no. Brian is just like that. I knew about Brian, courtesy of Tay, before all you niggas did. He said, this little nigga down here punched me in my grill when he was 14 years old. I'm like, whoa, 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 hold on. What? You want me just to work a certain way and he's hitting like this? Nope. I been knew about that before y'all niggas knew. I been knew about Brian Norman beating up on Tank. I been knew about him wobbling Bud in sparring. I been knew about that. Y'all didn't know. So when he started getting airtime, I said, all right, this the kid. Let's see. Bing, 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 knockout. Bing, 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 knockout. I'm like, shit. And y'all weren't Norman fans until him and Devin got linked in the same sentence. But I'm not going to let y'all abandon shit. Brian's not done. You fucking assholes. How dare you? It's organized confusion. All I saw was a bunch of monkeys running around here. You're not watching boxing, you're picking sides. Because you hate Devin. But your hatred for Devin made you abandon Brian Norman? You see what you niggas did? Star City J, where you been? Good to see you. Derek Gaines, a legend. Salute. Nah. I'm still talking that brother up. I don't give a fuck about y'all. I'm still talking him up. Don't care. I knew he was going to be a victim of circumstance. I knew it. Because I know y'all, and I'm talking about y'all in the chat. I'm talking about the dick watchers. Watching me with your lip poked out right now. I knew y'all was going to do that. I knew it. Because I know y'all. You do more harm than good. I knew y'all was going to do that. I'm not letting you do it. Nope. Is anyone saying Brian Norman's done? No. It's a loss. It happens. How many losses the GOAT, Muhammad Ali, has? How many losses Mike Tyson has? How many losses does Lennox Lewis have? And we watched him get knocked out cold at least 2 times. Now, one time did we say he was done. Harold, what up, brother? Now, one time. These things only apply to fighters you don't like. And when I ask you dumb niggas, why don't you like Devin? Y'all can't explain that without regurgitating propaganda perpetuated by white media and a bunch of self-hating niggas. Accurate salute. And you always bring up Bill, who's done nothing but promote his fighter / his son. And I get a little extra angry when I see a non-black regurgitate the bullshit from old media to me about why. What is your problem with Devin? Then they start talking about Victor Conti and Snack and Pillow Fist. And I let them talk. And not one time do they bring up a racist Ryan Garcia. They just don't do it. Strange, right? Dr. Strange, right? Lamont, what up? But you get this 6'5" white man with blue eyes, with this accent, and y'all will hold on to everything this guy says. And because y'all did that, we never got a undisputed matchup between him and Deontay, AJ and Deontay. And now, due to the PBC, with what Tay Jones just said in the chat, with the PBC, and this guy being in control of the IBF champion, you may never see Devin Haney have a clear path to undisputed, and he's now a champion. Rolly Romero will get a shot at unification before Devin does, with 2 knockout losses. And if that guy, the IBF champion at 47, what's his name? Crocker shit, whatever his name is. And I mean this with all disrespect. I don't have to like him. Y'all can't explain to me why y'all hate Devin. I don't have to like anybody else. Fuck y'all. Don't have to. He'll get his fighter, because Crocker's a matchroom fighter. He'll get him, Rolly Romero, for a chance at unification before Devin will. And if that dude ends up with 2 belts, what do you think he's going to do with Devin? He gonna get Devin to try and fight him in the UK, and Devin's the worst thing in the world, and pillow fist, and he's running, and he right now in this interview he's talking about how bad Devin looked, and I thought he was talking about the Ramirez fight. He was talking about the Brian Norman fight, and I'm like, I'm standing there, and I have to maintain a professional face, but I'm listening to him like, this dude, I'm supposed to buy that performance against Brian Norman Jr., probably the most dangerous puncher at 47. Matter of fact, I think he is. I think he ain't no probably. I think he is. For Devin to box this kid successfully for 12 fucking rounds, to drop him and still be in the line of fire for the rest of the fight. That was a brilliant performance by Devin, an outstanding heart by Brian. And what made it worse is that all of you cats that had to talk that negative shit about Devin, y'all had to eat those words. But in you eating those damn words, y'all tore down the guy that y'all said was gonna kill him. Y'all made it worse. Rick, salute. Y'all made it worse. And now he's standing in front of me telling me it was a bad performance against Brian Norman? Really, man? Y'all go ahead and listen to him. This is what he's telling me.
I'm fighting like he used to. I give him all the props in the world. He's a great fighter. He's really hard to beat. But I'm just telling you, as a fan, I think he can be doing more.
As a fan, Eddie, you're not a fan. You're way more educated. And guess what? This is the problem. I don't give a F what fanatics think. Fanatics are casuals. Fanatics is Mag 7s of the world. I don't care. That dude literally said, Devin's not popping. I said, well, how do you figure he's not popping? Because the kids ain't talking about him. You're a grown-ass man. Listening to kids? I don't care what if, listen, kids sit down at the dinner table, you got to make them eat their vegetables. And they get all mad and shit, but what do we know? Vegetables are good for you. You have to eat your vegetables. You're not getting it from this table. If you let kids do it all day, they're going to eat Takis and all this other shit and have cancer by 21. You let them do it. I don't care about what the fanatics say. The inmates don't run the asylum over here. No. Because they don't know any better. Delano's asking, is ROLLY better than Brian Norman Jr.? No. No, he's not. Brian Norman Jr. knocks ROLLY out cold, badly, in like 4 rounds. Brian Norman Jr. knocks ROLLY out cold in like 4 rounds. In no, bro. Okay, I'm not even going, no. Delano, just to answer your question. ROLLY's not better than Brian Norman. Because if he was, now, you know how I always say, how can I believe what you say when I see what you do, right? If ROLLY felt he was better than Brian Norman, he'd be on Devin's ass right now saying, I'm going to knock you out and I'm going to take that belt and become unified. This motherfucker trying to fight Manny Pacquiao based off the old regime of back end money and seat sales and Manny Pacquiao. You still operating on a regime that's about 12 years out of date now. No. Delano, I'm always honest. I'm always honest. And as far as Rolly Romero is concerned, how could I believe what you say when I see what you do? Devin was all these bitches and punks at 35. You never fought him. 140, you never fought him. In fact, he was not even in a position to do anything because he had 2 KO losses. Talk all this shit about Devin, Tank knocked your ass out. So Devin had to move on and do bigger and better things. Put yourself in a position to fight Devin. 140, Devin wins the belt. What happens with this motherfucker? He has a nightmare against the elder. Barossa, what's his name? Barossa. He had a nightmare fight against him and then fought Eastside Cruz somewhere along the line and got knocked out. So he was never in a position to even be mentioning Devin's name. Here he is, came up to 47 and fooled everybody, got a win against Ryan Garcia, ends up with a belt. Now Devin's there like, what's up? And now he's like, what you talking about? Fuck, Bill called me out. Devin didn't call me out. But the fuck you talking about? I don't know. What the fuck you talking about? Fight Devin for what? I mean, the fuck, he has no chin. Why would the fuck you talking about? Kids, stop. You're a champion. Dev's a champion. Watch this. Everybody should be wanting to beat Devin. Everybody should want to beat Devin clean to say they did it. Fighting Devin is the bag. You see? Guess what, y'all? I'm really making a bigger case for Brian Norman. Because he's the only one that manned up and fought him. The only one. Everybody else is looking like a pussy. Where's the lie? Shakur ain't talking. Boots ain't want it. Tio ain't want it. Tio, you ain't make a meal? I got 11 of those things for you. He said nope. What he said on the Breakfast Club was bullshit. Because what he put on Twitter and what he said on, I think, probably, what was it, Mill City? Wherever, one of these things, he says, nah, you know, it's not that I can't stop that style. It's just that it was boring to me. So you don't want to make $11 million because Devin's boring? Well, do something, make it exciting. Sound like Coach Cal. Hey, man. Marco asks, hey, man, you know, Shakur ain't got to stand there, man. You know, he's like a rabbit. He can get out of there. How would you match up against Shakur? Why would we want that fight? This is Coach Cal. Why would we want that fight? He's not going to stand there and let us do what we do. Yeah, he's not going to stand there because Shakur's a master boxer. What are we talking about? Either you have no coaching ability or you do have supreme coaching ability, but you understand that your product can't do what needs to be done, can't do what needs to be done. All you got to do is listen to these people when they talk. I didn't give any leading questions. I just asked this dude a question. And look at what he's saying. Let's listen.
I think he can actually be a better offensive fighter. I think he could have stopped Brian Norman. Okay. And made a massive...
Listen, man. I disagree. To go in there and mix it up with Brian Norman and try and stop him and close the show is a recipe for disaster. That's why Devin didn't do it. I dropped him. He's up. A couple of rounds later, he nullified my jab, so I had to make an adjustment. Brian was still walking forward in a lot of spots. It was aggression. It wasn't effective aggression, but nonetheless, he was there. At any point, just like Deontay, listen to what I'm saying, just like Deontay, at any point, Brian could have landed something and changed everything. At any point. That's why Devin ain't try to close the show, because it was not there, you idiots. But listen to this face. See that face right there? You listen to him. He knows what he's talking about, or he's a salesman. Man, I can't wait to see Brian Norman come back. Watch. He's in a rough spot. He got to win, and he got to be outstanding. But I have faith in the young man. But let's listen to Eddie.
Statement, and that was my honest opinion.
Okay.
But, you know,
how does he compare to Shakur, though, stylistically?
Now you see what I did, right? You see what I did, right? Because everything he said about Devin, and I heard him, everything he said about Devin, Shakur actually is boring, pillow-fisted, and doesn't close the show. So I said, how does he compare to Shakur stylistically? And let's listen to his response.
I think that they're both master boxers. It's not about aggression necessarily.
Now it's not about aggression. He just said that Devin didn't close the show. But now it's not about aggression. You see this? You see this? In 2 seconds. Wow. I'll bring it back. I'll bring it back. Maybe I missed it. Listen.
Cordo, stylistically.
I think he can actually be a better offensive fighter. I think he could have stopped Brian Norman.
Okay.
I made a massive. He can actually be a better offensive fighter. I think he could have stopped Brian Norman. He can actually be a better offensive fighter. I think he could have stopped Brian Norman. He can actually be a better offensive fighter. I think he could have stopped Brian Norman.
Okay.
I made a massive statement, and that was my honest opinion.
Okay.
But,
how does he compare to Shakur, though, stylistically?
I think that they're both master boxers. It's not about aggression.
See? Did y'all catch that? He could have stopped Norman. How does he compare to Shakur, though? It's not all about aggression. You see? I didn't do shit but ask a question. You see? Straight to my face. He said that straight to my face. Y'all can't do what I do, man. Y'all can't do what I do. Word, Shelton, he literally contradicted himself in 15 seconds, bro. You see? This is what these devils do. You see what I mean? Just let them talk. Y'all seen Law and Order. Y'all seen a couple of episodes in your life. Y'all seen all the shows where they have the perp locked up and the cops are just trying to talk to them or whatever. And what happens? The lawyer comes in. Stop talking. You know why? Because anything you say can and will be held against you in the court of law. Tay says he will be versus Crocker soon. Oh, there you go. There it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. Now, I haven't seen Crocker fight. I'm not even going to hold you on that. I have zero data on him. Now I'm going to look it up. And let me ask y'all a question. What happens if Brian Norman comes out and knocks this dude sideways? He's now the IBF champion. And guess what? There could be a rematch with Devin again. And now it's for unification. But let me ask you a question. Let me ask you, Insane, what up? Let me ask you a question, though. Let me ask you a question. If Brian Norman comes back and knocks the shit out of Crocker, and off a general principle, I want that to happen because he's a matchroom fighter. He's an Eddie Hearn fighter. Listen, it's nothing personal against Crocker. I don't know him. But you are now a victim of circumstance because you're affiliated with Eddie Hearn. All right? Brian comes back and knocks the shit out of Crocker. Now he's an IBF champion. Is anybody going to be, are they going to be wanting the Devin Haney rematch? Or does ROLLY need to go get this unification going? Forge is asking, is Devin due a mandatory with the WBO, Drew? You know, I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know. I'm not educated on that. I don't know. I don't know. What I do know is there's a mandatory, not a mandatory, I'm sorry. They want that smoke with ROLLY, and ROLLY was looking in all directions but Debo Dev. That's what I know. So I can't give you an accurate answer on that, Forge. I apologize. I don't know. I don't know. Last I checked, unifications trump mandatories, and we got 4 champions at 147. So Devin is looking for the unification, and ROLLY is looking for the exit. ROLLY is looking for Manny Pacquiao. You know, it's bad. It's all bad. So I believe Catterall is a #1, another matchroom fighter. Yeah, I like Jack Catterall too. Jack Catterall is taking his craft very seriously. Stormy, let me know. The dude's in Philadelphia. working on his craft. I fucks with that. He's taking his craft very seriously. Yeah. Delano says, so Devin should go after Cheetah Ben. No. I'm going to tell you why, Delano. Conor Ben has nothing to offer. He can't offer Devin money. He can't offer him titles. All he can offer him is an insane amount of eggs and a robbery in the UK. That's all he can offer him. No one should be going after Conor Ben for anything. Conor Ben has accomplished nothing. All he has is his dad's last name, and he has beef with Eubanks, the Eubanks family. That's all. Exactly, Forge. You know, Devin is actually trying to make things happen, and he's being treated like the villain. That's why we call him Debo Dev, because nobody wants to smoke. And again, in my Black Lives voice, and again, that's why I give props to Brian Norman Jr. Because remember, there was a list, and when he got to Brian's name, Brian said, run it. I will respect that forever, because everyone said, Boots said no, Tio said no, Tank said no, Shakur said no. Brian, you up? Let's get it. Let's get it. I respect Brian for that. Fuck all that other bullshit. And you know what? I don't know, bro. I can't talk about Conor Ben, y'all. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it, bro. Somebody put in the chat, what belt this dude run? He's been talked up because of his last name and Eddie Hearn, the brilliant. Why doesn't anyone talk about Eddie Hearn's promotion and skills and everyone's on Bill Haney's dick? Bill Haney a liar? I'm showing you in real time this guy's lied. In real time. On real time. This dude lied. I just showed you. Why isn't this plastered all over the internet? Because it's me holding the camera? I just showed you this dude lied. Eddie Hearn's a liar. This ain't the first time. Taylor tell you. I lost count how many times this guy lied. And the funny shit is, it's all documented on video. This guy's lied. And I'm like, holy shit. He did it again. This guy just lied to my face just now. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. I've enjoyed that super chat. He says, Lewis Crocker is probably the weakest in 147, but he's one of the boxers that wants to smoke with everybody, but don't sleep on him. He can upset for the win. It's boxing. It's boxing. But if Brian Norman gets in the ring with Lewis Crocker, I'm picking Brian Norman for the KO. Fuck that. And I'm going to do my homework on this dude. I want Brian Norman to be a major player. I want him to be a major player. Minor setback for a major comeback. I want him to be a major player. I don't want that kid to fail. For what? I love comeback stories. I love it. But sorry, Crocker. You a victim of I don't know the dude. I got to do homework on him. But you roll him with Eddie, you a victim of circumstance. Now, Delano, he says, but Conor wants to smoke. Give it to him. No, he hasn't earned anything. He failed drug tests, and Eddie brought him here in the States and down in Florida to get some fights. I'm going to hit y'all with the old question. What has Conor Ben done to deserve a fight with anybody highly ranked at 147? What has he done? Give me his resume. Give me his resume. Stop beefing in my chat, y'all, please. We ain't on that. We talking boxing, please. I don't know. I just look. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Please stop beefing in my chat, y'all. It's all love this morning. What has Conor Ben done to deserve a fight? What has Conor Ben do to deserve a fight with anybody? All the title holders at 147. What has Conor Ben done? What has he done? What has he done? Now it's cool. Everyone just relax in the chat. I don't know I had another screen up. I don't know what's going on. Just I don't know what's going on. Please chill. I don't know what happened. I had another screen up. I don't know what happened. I'm just asking the brothers, please just chill. I had a very rough last 3 weeks. I'm mentally exhausted. I had a lot of real life shit going on. Respectfully, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. I just need just put down the pipes, lay down the firearms. Let's just talk some boxing. Eddie Hearn is the focus right now. This dude is Eddie Hearn is a liar. But what has kind of been done to deserve a fight against? Oh, there's 4 title holders at 147, and they have a body of work which led them to become champions. What has kind of been done to deserve a fight against any one of those guys? Nothing? Great. So let's go back to this guy lying to my face. Let's go back.
Necessarily just that. It's more about what I believe is the concern of what's coming back. I think Shakur, anyone that knows their boxing, under fire is incredible. Look at Zepeda. He'll sit on the ropes and just play with him.
So he thinks that is exciting. He thinks that is exciting. But what Devin does is not exciting. And Devin is a harder puncher than Shakur. So I mean, what's going on? What's going on here, Eddie? And I'm gonna tell you a lot about demeanor. Also, Eddie's smiling at me. What that is, that's uncomfortable. Because he knows he contradicted himself. That's uncomfortable. He's trying to gain my favor. Because Teofimo did the same thing. Because when he made a statement, I said, so according to that logic, you were really undisputed at 135? And he says, exactly. And I wasn't riding with him. I was asking a question because that question was leading to another question. He was supposed to say yes. And then I had further questions for him. But the way he handled it was to like shut me up. Like, yo, exactly. And when you hear it on the video, I wasn't saying, hey, that's right, T.O., because by that rule of thought, you were really undisputed at 147. Nah, I'm not Showbiz the grown adolescent coon who was there. Showbiz the coon was there. He knows who the fuck I am. I'm like, man, get out of here, bro. But whatever. This clown. This clown. This dude is ridiculous. This dude is ridiculous. Lord Sweat, real Baltimore. Salute, brother. So now, being a slick boxer, laying on the ropes and shit, he likes that when it's somebody he's promoting. But Devin style is all wrong. You know what? Let me look something up. Let me see. Devin Haney. Box rec. 33 wins. 15 knockouts, no losses, no draws. Now, Shakur, because I never looked this up at all. 24 wins, 11 knockouts, no losses, no draws. He's not labeled a power puncher. So what are we dealing with here? Oh, you just like how he lays on the ropes. I can't believe this dude is double talking. I don't know how this thing go. No, don't worry. I'm gonna make a short of this video. I'm gonna make. I'm gonna make. Bro, I don't understand how this went over everyone's head, bro. The real OG, Mr. Martin, that super chat salute. He says, "Truth be told, I don't even think it's a fight that Bill and Deb should entertain. I don't believe Conor would survive the weight cut without a legal diuretic. You know what? You're right. He hasn't been at welterweight since 2022. Yeah. 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 Now that I think about it, Mr. Munn, yeah. And you know what? Let's just go with the old question. When he's asked about Conor Ben, I can just envision Bill saying, Conor Ben, what has he done to deserve a fight against us? What are people going to say? Oh, he sold out Wembley with Chris Eubanks. What belt was that for? And nobody cared about that over here. You want to know how uneducated and how removed the regular public is from boxing? I follow, what's his brother's name? Follow him on Instagram and I follow him on YouTube. Marquette, bald-headed black brother with the goatee. I follow him. And he puts up this post of this man like OD spraying himself with cologne. And he's monologuing and talking. And then people in the chat was like, whoa, does he take a shower? And they're ripping him to shreds. And I got in the chat and I said, y'all know that's a Hall of Fame fighter, Chris Eubanks Sr. And he was doing something on his podcast. He was trolling with something. You know, he had a bottle of cologne with the rubber bag on it, and he was talking and saying something about spraying himself. He was being foolish on purpose. And I said, you know, that's not really him every day. I said, people in the chat was like, why is he talking like that? Because he's really British. That's really how he talks. They didn't know who it was. And me and like two other guys like, nah, that's a fighter. He's just clowning around. He's not really doing that. You know what I'm saying? He was clowning. And Marquette liked my my comment. I brought that up to say that people didn't even know who he was. So when your sons have this rivalry based off of you and Nigel Ben having a rivalry damn near 40 years ago, nobody knows what's going on. He says, but Ben Jr., he's not Junior, brother. Nigel Ben and Conor Ben. Conor Ben is the son. He's not a junior. He says, it's calling Haney out. You know where this is going to go if Devin says no. Oh, yeah, I know, because Devin can do no right. Devin can do no right. He can't do any right. Devin can't do any right. Everything is his fault. But guess what? With great power comes great responsibility. I say no to drug cheats. If he decides, yes, Saint the Sinner, Abdul, Saint the Sinner, yes, Marquette, yes, him. With great power comes great responsibility. Devin is in a position of power, and that's why he's hated. Devin has more power in the sport of boxing, I'd like to say, than most haters' favorite fighter. He has more power. You know why? Because people want to see him lose. Now, for the reasons why they want to see him lose, that's them. I don't care. Can you name a fighter at 147 that'll get a higher check since y'all like talking about money so much, can you name a fighter at 147 that'll get a higher check, payday, than Devin Haney? Anybody? Can you name anybody at 140 that'll get a higher paycheck than Devin Haney? Can you name anybody at 135 that'll get a higher payday than Devin Haney? I dare you to say Tank. I dare you. Because it's been proven that Devin has deeper pockets than him. And he's worth more. Tank's highest payday up front was about to be Jake Paul, and he fucked it up. So you can't name anybody from 35, 40, or 47. Not even Boots at 54. As a matter of fact, can you name anybody at 54 that'll get a higher payday than Devin Haney? You see, this is why they hate this man. See what I mean? And mind you, y'all, this is something that just dawned on me just now. Just now. I thought about it like, whoa, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Devin is the highest paid. Speedy Rashidi? No, it's not a good fight. You know why? Answer me this question. What has Speedy Rashidi done to deserve a fight against Devin Haney? What has he done? Nothing. Speedy Rashidi got to run it back with who's the Latino that edged him out in that fight and that Boot stomped on in the very next fight? What was that dude's name? Boots beat the shit out of him. But Speedy Rashidi was looking good at first, and then dude turned up on him. He still got problems with that guy. Speedy at 54 now? Look, I didn't even know that. And respectfully, but I ain't been checking for Speedy. Since that loss, Roman Villa, thank you. Since that happened, I was like, ooh, he got to get back in the great graces. He got to get back. And watch this. I never said Speedy was done. But when you start taking guys from down there that got issues they got to work out, you can't just throw him in there in front of Devin. And that's how you know a fighter is that dude. When they start throwing all around strong, my brother, salute. All y'all, I'm not saying y'all in chat, you know what I mean? People start throwing dudes that were hot 3-5 years ago. They start talking about Gary Russell Jr. It's like, hold on, man. We tried to make that coming out the pandemic. You're late. We tried to make that already. Team Russell said no. And y'all wasn't even online at that time. When I spoke to Batman, his brother, I said, yo, we got to fight, main biker, salute. We got to fight? He said, nah, Slim. I said, what happened? He said, my pops don't want to do it. He don't want to work with him. I said, oh, man, no, come on, bro. He said, Dad don't want to do it. I said, damn. They didn't want to do it. And Batman didn't get in specifics. Dirt Game, salute. He didn't get in specifics. They just said no. And that was when, of course, Batman was alive because I was talking to him. And their father was still alive. They said no. Ultimate Fight Club, salute. That's all. That's all. That's how you know Devin is that dude. Word up. Rest in power to Batman. That shit broke my heart. I still got his phone number in my phone, too. I was doing something in my contacts, and I came right across, because, you know, begins with a B. It's like right there near the top. I said, oof. Man, that shit hit me. Villa just lost on Pro Box a couple of weeks ago. Man. See? That's another thing. The fighters might be hot, and then 3 years later, what a difference 36 months make. Makes a big difference. What a difference 36 months make. It's crazy shit, man. Ain't nobody... I just thought of that a little while ago. Nobody's making bigger bank than Devin from 35. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. It might be even 54. Hold on. Let me go to let me see. Bakram, the boogeyman, no one wants no smoke with him. Boots and the boss are sharing a WBA strap. Fundora and Virgil Ortiz and Xander's eye. Man, Devin is making more bank than everybody from 35 to 54. Let me go to 60. Janabek, Lara, Adamas, and Janabek is unified. Oh my God, let's go to 68. Okay, at 68 is where it stops because Bud is up there. Canelo's not retired. Okay, it stops right there. So Devin Haney is making bigger bank than anybody from 35 to 60. Now my wheels are turning. This is why they can't stand Devin. It's deeper than that. Aha, you're not the main event. He got more bread than this dude. And this guy's talking up Shakur. Devin is boring. He should have smashed the gas on on Brian Norman and risked getting his head knocked off, which is a testament to how smart Devin is because he understood that there was still an element of danger. Fuck your risk. Devin took all the risk I needed to see in his life fighting Ryan Garcia, a drugged up, overweight motherfucker. And we told Bill, hey, man, you sure you want to do this? This guy's overweight. That 1 to 2 pounds he's overweight, you know he's going to be like a $180 on fight night. And then we found out he was drugged up after that. That's all the risk I need. And then Devin kept getting up off the floor and trying to walk Ryan down. They only show you highlights of that. Devin won rounds in that fight. Devin's a dog. But you know what? That's all the risk I need to see him take for the rest of his fucking career. Because you know why? It's unappreciated. When that bell sounded and it was over, they clowned him. If he was Mexican, if his last name was Ramirez or Rodriguez, Mendez, they'd have been like, Latin heart, Latino heart, Latino heat, Mexican heart, Boricua heart, Dominican destroying heart. But he light-skinned with a big nose. And it's aha. And then you found out this motherfucker's a cheating-ass racist who came in overweight and literally tried to commit murder in the fucking ring. And it's still, oh, well, you know. That's what we doing. He fought Ramirez smart. It was Ramirez's responsibility. It was Ramirez's responsibility to cut the ring off and put Devin in the blender. He could not do it. The footwork was too good. And then when he did close the distance, he got his ribs busted up. He got his face busted up. The only person who looked like they had a motherfucking fight that night was Ramirez because he got touched and Devin didn't. Sorry, but not sorry. And he preserved himself because he knew the Ryan Garcia was up next. And Ryan went in there, fucked around and lost and cried the goddamn sprinter on the way back. And he still said, no, my hand is broken. He still said no. And somehow Devin's to blame for this. Then he gets in there with probably the hardest puncher at 147. And Devin was supposed to die that night. He showed heart. He showed grit. Those young men fought. Devin won. Brian got off the floor to finish the fight. He showed heart. I celebrate the success of both of those brothers. And just like that, Eddie Hearn gets a hold of Shakur and says Devin is boring and don't know how to close a show. The public is saying pillow fist, chinny, and they just described Shakur, who breaks his hand in almost every fucking fight, who has a lower KO ratio than Devin. And let me ask y'all this. Has Shakur been tested? He is that good that no one can touch him. But what happens? Eventually, he's going to get touched. Does he have dog in him? And I can tell you that Floyd Mayweather's a dog, whether it was Pretty Boy Floyd or Money May. We seen Floyd get touched, and he had to suck it up and bite down and fight. We knew Floyd could do that. I can't say that about Shakur. What happens if he gets touched? Eventually, as his career progresses, somebody gonna touch him. I'm not saying he's not a dog. I'm saying I don't know because I haven't seen it. Bullshit. But let's go back to Eddie, because now he's talking up. He's talking up Shakur. Well, I say he just told us that Devin Haney's boring, but he's talking up Shakur.
Like you talk about
I got a little nervous about that. I got a little nervous.
He didn't.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Devin right now with his confidence wouldn't sit in the pocket, slip and slide and trade. He wants to grab hold and he wants to get back.
Holy shit. Now we're talking about holding again. Somebody screenshot this for me. This is the funniest goddamn picture. Oh, Lord, I needed that. Oh, I needed that. And don't think I forgot about Janibek's cheating ass. You need to cheat against a 50-year-old fucking Laura. You was afraid you was going to get your fucking face boxed in by that Cuban school? I'm so disappointed with these guys, man. Now it makes sense, right? Yo, man, Bud's going down to 160. Oh, Janibek. I'm like, I think Bud could beat anybody at 160. But what is this shit with Janibek? Oh, he's one of those Asian-looking Russian Muslim dudes or whatever's going on. Minus the shaved head and the beard. Okay, he's a tough guy. Yeah, I've seen him. But, okay, it's Bud. I'm not betting against Bud. And then he pops. Oh, that's why I wanted Bud to ring with this guy. You wanted to give a test run to see if he can get away with it and then force the Bud fight. What was he supposed to do? Dominate Lara like he's never been dominated before and then call out Bud? If it come to 160, I wait for you. Bud Crawford, yes, let's go. Sorry, you got caught. What have you done to deserve a fight against Terrence Bud Crawford? These are all arguments that I used to hear in defense of Manny Pacquiao, in defense of AJ, in defense of these niggas' favorite fighters. Oh, he doesn't deserve anything. He don't sell enough seats. See, shout out to Riyadh season, because he removed all of that argument. Don't worry about seat sales. Don't worry about paydays. Do y'all want to fight? I got y'all money. And now Devin ain't got no opponent for unification. You see? That's why we call him Debo. Salute to Eric Jordan. That super chat salute. He says, Haney versus Ramirez is my favorite fight of the year. Exactly. Devin and Drew Debo Ninja Sword. Haney put on the most masterful performance. Devin's I'm sorry, I gotta get give power to my nigga sword. Oh, salute EJ. You know what I'm saying? Janibek needed steroids to compete against Iris Landry Lara. That is bro. I'm so sick, man. All right, somebody screenshot this for me, please. This is funny as hell. Thank you. Hold on. Thank you. This has to be the funniest fucking picture Hold on. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. Yeah, man. Thanks, Shelton. Now look, let me say something in the chat, please. Let me say something in the chat. All right. I had another screen up. Now I'm back. Chill. Insane. Chill. Insane. I need you to chill. I'm trying to talk boxing here. I don't know. I had two different screens up. I came back and I see you going back and forth with Tay. Chill. Stop, please. Please stop. I done told y'all at the top of the show, I'm dealing with some real life shit off this mic. And I'm actually not feeling my best right now. I'm doing this morning because this is an outlet and it needs to be said. All right. And this is a prime example. I'm focused on the enemy on the screen. I can't have brothers in the chat fighting amongst each other. Please. 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 You know, fuck it. I'll say this. If, you know what? I'm not even going to say nothing, man. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what happened. But I will say this. If this is something that has to be solved in a boxing ring, then make it happen. As long as y'all not shooting at each other and all this other weird shit. If this is something y'all have to handle in a boxing ring, then settle it. Then settle it. That's all I'm saying. Abel, salute. If this is something y'all got to handle in a boxing ring, then settle it. Y'all make y'all arrangements and settle it. Okay? And this is what I'm talking about, you know, when I get put in these weird ass positions, man. Ain't nothing but black and brown people in my chat, and salute to the white ones too. And salute to the white ones too. There's the white ones too. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about this devil on the screen. And then, you know, there's beef in the damn chat. Now, I don't know how this started. I don't know what happened. I'm just trying to be peaceful and get everyone to relax. I don't know what happened, but if, you know what I'm saying, if something's going on and it can't be solved with words or a phone conversation, and you know, y'all want to solve it in the ring, then y'all do that. But I can't referee a panel with y'all arguing when I'm talking, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to talk about Eddie Hearn. All right, brother, insane. All right. I need you to relax. I just need you to relax. I just need you to relax, man. I just need you to relax. I need my brothers to focus. And this is how we get caught up in bullshit all the time. The real enemy is on the screen, man. The real enemy is on the screen. Look, I have it paused. I didn't even mean to do that. I have it paused on his face. This is the guy. He's lying on Brother Devin. He's talking up Brother Shakur, who, Shakur's gotten on my nerves, but he's made a deal with this devil, and I don't think he's smart enough to move around what Eddie has planned for him, because he's trying to bring up his countrymen, another buck that he's breaking off, Connor Ben. And I think he's lining up Boots and he's lining up Shakur. And I'm exposing these lies, and y'all do know talking boxing with me, it's therapeutic, because we all got shit happening, man. We all got shit happening. Y'all have no idea what I'm like really dealing with off this mic. I have no fucking clue. You have no idea. When I get off this mic today, I got real shit I got to deal with. And all I want is a peaceful show. That's all I want. When I started the show, because some bullshit happened yesterday. When I started my fucking show this morning, I explained to y'all. I just went through some stupid shit yesterday. And prior to that, I was talking to Shelton because something else happened. Something else happened. And I was talking to Shelton like, yo, bro. And I just said magically, it always lands in my lap, and I didn't do anything. Like right now, I had another screen up. I'm talking about Eddie Hearn. I come back and look at the chat, and people are fighting. I don't know who started. Is this the part where niggas get mad at me? What the? Man. Thank you, Mr. Mont. I'm gonna do something with this picture. I appreciate that, Colin. I mean, I'm a grown-ass black man in this world, and ain't no one gonna feel sorry for us. No one asked how you doing. Did y'all know Stormy B Man's birthday was yesterday? Did y'all know that? It slipped my mind because like I said, off this mic, I'm dealing with some really harsh things. I'm dealing with some really harsh things. I got a lot of things going on. But I still get up out of my bed and bring y'all content. I got out of my bed, and salute to my brother Town Beds. He got me credential. And I'm bringing y'all this content. And I'm shining a light on this interview right here. No one is watching this and revealing things on this interview like I'm doing it right now. But y'all have no idea the real life shit I'm dealing with off the mic. And I don't air my shit out online. But Stormy's birthday was yesterday. It slipped my mind because, you know, I'm dealing with shit. Normally him and I talk every day, but the shit got hard this week. How many of y'all remember? How many of y'all said happy birthday to him? And that hurt my feelings because I forgot, man. He's an older brother. He's dealing with, you know, issues as when you get older, you deal with health issues or whatever. That's my friend in real life, man. And I'm kind of kicking myself in the ass yesterday because I'm on BF's panel yesterday, you know, getting caught up with that Mag 7 shit. But the only reason why I was on there is because Bill called and he was supposed to join the panel. And I just wanted to join the panel. And it can, man. All I want is fucking peace. You know how many times I said, you know what, I need to walk away from this shit for about 3 months, man, because this shit is like, it can get toxic if you let it. But I'd be doing y'all a disservice if I allowed all these niggas to run around here, the KOs of the world, the Fanons of the world, the show business of the world. That stupid, dumb spick over there in fucking Chicago putting out tweets saying, I wish Devin would die, no cap. He literally said that. I have the screenshot. Richie Valens. And if I laid this down and say I'm not doing it no more, who's going to be there to protect the integrity of the sport? This has become a responsibility of mine. Salute Mook. He says, happy birthday, big homie, Stormy B, man. Everybody hit the like button. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I got to tell my big brother that, man. Tay, I hear you. Because I felt like that like 3 months ago. I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And when I have to sit down and think about it, I said, this is why I do things. But you know what? God gave me big shoulders for a reason, because there is no weight that I can't carry. God told me that. But I'd be lying to you if I told you the shit wasn't difficult, man. Because I can't focus on a goddamn devil without my brothers in the fucking chat fighting. And what the fuck am I supposed to do about this? Silence is co-signing. If I ignore it, then I become the enemy. If I address it, I'm taking the other person's side. What am I supposed to do? I got a devil on here lying to our face. I'm exposing it, and my brothers are fighting in the fucking chat. What am I supposed to do?